Okay, I'm going to get you started on all the cords and plugging everything in, and I'm going to start with the charging of the battery. You have to have your battery charged or you're not going to be able to use it. You're going to be using the battery that matches the number of your group, and they'll all be numbered, and you'll have your group number, and it'll match the charger with the same number. That's the first step. Now the second step is, if you look at the end of these here, one of these is curved. I know it's a little hard to see on the video, but this one is curved and this one is square. There, you can kind of see it right there. One is curved, one is square. When you look at the plug where you're going to plug it in, one is curved, this one's curved, and one is square. So guess what you have to do? You have to match them up. It also means that this side has this little part that sticks out on it, and it goes with this little clip. So when I'm charging my battery, I put it together so that the clip goes over the little part there and holds it together. Now, if you've done everything properly, this light will turn on and it'll be red if it's charging. This light is on. It's red if it's charging and it's green if it's not. Very often what happens is something has not gotten turned on along the way, and this light is not on. And people will put their battery over there and they're like, well, I plugged it in. But if the light is not on, it is not charging. In this case, what you want to do is you want to follow everything along and make sure it's all done. Check that the power strip is on. In this case, that's what I turned off. A lot of the time what also happens is this end right here actually detaches, and sometimes this one will be like this because people have pulled on it. There's your next place to check. Check that that's plugged in all the way. And finally, check that your battery is plugged in all the way. If the light's not on, it's not charging. You're responsible for plugging your battery in and making sure it's charging at the end of class. If it's not charging at the end of class, the next class won't have a charged battery. If they come in and their battery is not charging, I will take off points from your group. I know who uses each battery. Just as well, if you're using the wrong battery, your battery's not charged, so you just take someone else's, I'm going to take off points. You must always use your group's battery. If for some reason you come in and your battery is not working, you let me know so that I can penalize the appropriate group, and then I will give you an alternate one. Never just take someone else's battery, because I will take off points from you. Second part, detaching this right here. If you pull on these cords like this, it will break. These batteries are about 30 bucks. If you break it, I will put it on your account as your obligations, and you won't be able to do the things like exempt finals till you pay for that obligation. Never pull like this. What you have to do is you have to reach up here on this white plastic part, push the pin down, and then sometimes you have to kind of wiggle back and forth to pull it apart. Always pull it here. Never pull on the cords. Okay, so I gave you a little card like this that I want you to glue into your notebook. It's orange so that we can always find it. These are always the steps you're going to use when you're setting up your Cortex every day from now until the end of the year. These are the steps you have to use. If you don't use this, it gets incredibly angry at you and it will not work properly. And I'm going to tell you, turn everything off, start again, because it'll mess it up. So the first step is to start the Robot C program. I'll show you how to do that on another video when I'm on the computer. Then it says plug in the USB cord. That's this orange cord. You're going to plug it in to both the Cortex and your computer. And it gets plugged in right here. So you may have to reach under here, plug it in. Plug in the VEX Cortex. You'll take off the twist tie and the other end will get plugged into your computer. Then it says plug in power on the Cortex. In order to do this, you also have to have the battery plugged in already, because clearly powering it on will not work if you don't have it plugged in. So the battery, again, remember there's one side that's round and one that's square, and you have to look at where you plug it in on here. On here, there's one round part and one square part. Don't get in a rush, and I want you to do this properly. Make sure you plug it in correctly. You should not force it in there. Look at how easy this goes in, and it comes out just as easily. If you swap it backwards, it's going to get stuck in there and it's going to be incredibly hard to get out. Notice this is super easy for me to plug in. Then just lay your battery down there beside it. Once it is plugged into both of these, now we're ready to power on the Cortex. Notice that it was in the off position before, and then you turn it on. You have to do that step last. This one has not had all the firmware done yet. Once you have yours done, it will have 2 solid green lights on. If it doesn't have 2 solid green lights on, or it's flashing like this one is, it means that you need to do the update the firmware, which we're going to do in another video. And then finally, you're going to open your actual program on Robot C. But those are the steps. If you're going to turn it off, you need to do the exact opposite steps. Turn it off, then take off the USB and take off the battery. Just as I said before, never pull on the battery by the cables here. Always grab it by the white part and pull it out. It should not be super hard to pull out. Just grab it and pull it out. The same thing with USB cords. These are pretty good cords, but don't pull it out from here. Always reach up here, grab it on this part here, and pull it out that way. The same thing goes for the end that we've hooked into the computer. Always reach up, grab it by this part, pull it out.